More of them. Come on then. I crave an audience with your king. Another group. They don't look very regal. Still no sign of the king. Could Fanad have been wrong? There's dozens of them. The king must be close. But we'll have to take care of his followers first. Looks like that's the last of them. Out here, anyway. But beastmen do like dark places. Well, I'll be damned. A crown. Sorry, Your Majesty, but your reign ends here. It's over. It's done. Which means the curse should be broken. Let's see how Talor's doing.
Clive!
It is.
You do? Talor! He's back!
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay you for everything you've done for me. I owe you my life.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted. There is one thing I'd like to know, though. If you don't mind my asking. What made you seek the Tombury's help in the first place?
Oh, that, well, you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. The Sons of Greek arrested me in Oriflamme, chained me up in a lightless cell with a great sword hung over my head, ready to fall if I didn't confess. Though they never said to what. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. And I never told a soul. Tried to forget it ever happened. But then you came along and the sight of your sword brought it all flooding back. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, but it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you.
If only I'd known, I might have spared everyone a lot. I'd convinced myself that you were like them. That all outsiders were the same, but thank you, son.
Clive, there's something I need to tell you. After we parted ways on the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tombury King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or perhaps knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know from experience that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit.
Was there ever really a curse then? Or was Talor simply... for all the difference it makes? I suppose we'll never...
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and...
I'll be sure.
Reckon my steel's just as good as any. Till next time, then.
It is good to have him back.
You wouldn't happen to have some time on your hands, would you, Clive? Only I was wondering if you might help me with something else.
Don't tell me. Another unruly dominant.
Not quite, but a dangerous foe nonetheless. It promises to be quite a hunt. Care to join me?
All right. Tell me about our quarry.
A fiendish, cold-blooded beast known as a Givra. Normally, we leave such animals well alone. I have an even better reason.
If you'll permit,
Certainly, Yamila.
it's been over a week since me sister gave birth to her first child, yet she still isn't back on her feet. We've tried everything to restore her spirits, physics and nostrums, the laying on of hands and of leeches, but all to no avail. The healers tell me there's only one hope left. A broth as potent as its ingredients are perilous to procure.
It isn't only Yamila's sister who stands to benefit from this, by the way. There's her baby to think of, and Walias, too. She'd agreed to be his wet nurse, you see.
I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. Our hunters have no shortage of skill, but this task calls for more than that. And it won't be achieved through weight of numbers either. The Givra is as wary a foe as it is a deadly one. 2 hunters might catch it unawares, but any more than that, and it would pick up our scent a league away.
Then it is decided. The 2 of you will go, while Jill and I occupy ourselves here.
Perhaps we might help prepare the broth.
That would be most kind of you.
Come then, Clive. The river of time flows fast, and so must we. There's a Givra that has claimed the ruins at the foot of the mountain as its hunting ground. But as I say, they are wary creatures. We'll need suitable bait to draw it out. The flesh of a forest ibex should suffice.
To the forest, then.
There's nothing a Givra loves more than a fat haunch of ibex.
There speaks the voice of experience. Do you hunt often?
Since I was a girl,
My lord, might I have a moment of your time? I would beg of you a service.
Certainly. What is it?
It's a long story. But before we get to that, would I be right in thinking Lady Shula told you about the witch from the north?
Yes. She said that your ancestors found her here, and that it was she who taught them the spell to stop time. She was like Walias, you know. A dominant. The Warden of Ice.
My great-grandmother suspected as much. She cared for the poor woman when the end was near. And it was she whose duty became to attend her grave. A duty that was passed down to me.
I see. And the service you would beg of me?
Well, until recently, the path to the grave had long been blocked by a fallen tree. But when our woodsmen finally found time to move it, we quickly realized it might have been better had they not. On trying to clear the rest of the path, you see, we discovered that a flock of bloodthirsty beasts had claimed the cliffs beyond. None of us was a match for them. But you, my lord, have proven your strength many times over. Would you drive them away for us?
Of course. I'll see the path is made safe.
Thank you, my lord. The grave is in a place called Witch Drop. To reach it, one must turn left at the Winged Wains, then follow the path around to the right, deep into the forest.
Why so far from Haven?
It was where she lived. When our ancestors first came to Mysidia, they found her there, in an old abandoned village. and it was her heartfelt wish to return there in death. So when she passed away, my great-grandmother had a stone erected for her on the cliffs overlooking the place she once called home.
How thoughtful. Well then, no time like the present. Left at the ships, then round to the right, you said.
Just so. Thank you once again, my lord. I will join you at the grave anon.
Is that the hunter?
It's you. Nasef's savior.
Are you all right? What happened?
I was tracking an ibex when a great spout of water struck me square in the back. Sent me flying all the way across the clearing.
Did you see what made it?
No. All I heard was a noise. An ear-splitting din.
Might this be the culprit? Leave him to us. You've caused enough trouble.
Say something.
Well, that wasn't too bad. Hardly a threat to the village, but you can't blame the boy for being scared.
You made that look a lot easier than it was.
Do you think that was the beast which attacked you?
That thing? Not a chance. Would have heard it coming a league away. And the blast of water that hit me was beyond anything an Archelon can manage.
Oh. A boy from the village sent me in search of a beast that could conjure such things, but...
That's it. That's the noise I heard. Sounded like it came from the ruins.
I'll go. You head back to Haven and see a healer.
These will do nicely.
Straight home now.
Return to the sea, and to the clouds rise again.
We have our bait then. What next?
Next, we pay a visit to the Dark Gate to pick some local weed. It'll help disguise our scent. There should be a sprig or two of local weed growing somewhere around here. Look for the golden leaves.
Is this it?
Aye, that's the stuff. Crush the leaves between your fingertips and rub them on your clothes.
If you insist. You could have warned me about the smell.
Like corruption, isn't it? We'll have an honor guard of flies before long. But it'll stop the Givra from noticing us. Its nose will tell it we're nothing but a feast for worms.
Oh, I feel so much better.
We can wash it off afterwards. If there's one good thing about the Givra choosing the ruins for its hunting ground, it's that there's plenty of fresh water nearby.
Where should we lay the bait?
Givras are creatures of habit. Look for some sign of its passing. It's sure to return to the same place sooner or later.
A fresh kill.
But not a Givras. The wounds are too clean, too small.
These look like a predator's tracks. You can clearly make out the claws.
But not just any claws. These belonged to a Givra. There's no mistaking them. We'll lay the bait here.
Let's hope our friend is hungry. Still no sign.
Patience, Clive. Hunting's not something you can rush.
Have you stalked these beasts before?
Once. Givras are fast, so the job called for a bearer. But even with my knack, it was a close-run thing.
Not many leaders would take such risks for their people.
Says the man who battled an icon to save a boy he barely knew. It is the way of the moats of water to use what gifts we've been given for the good of all. And I gather it's your way too.
It was Sid, the man whose name I bear. He fought for his people and their future with every fiber of his being. I'm just following in his footsteps. In many ways, you remind me of him.
Me? You're confusing daring with desperation. Quiet. Something's coming. Our guest has finally arrived.
Shall we greet him?
It'd be rude not to. Don't let it escape. I'll take your wounds, Clive.
You weren't exaggerating when you said they were dangerous.
They're forces of nature, all right. And with this one's passing, the river of life has calmed. O roaring torrent, son of storms, may your spirit run free in the open ocean. This flesh I claim, that your gifts might rain down upon us this day, and our river flow in spate once more. Well then, let's return to the village. We must...
Tributary! My lord! Did all proceed as planned?
It did. Here. 1 Geaver tongue, as promised.
Oh, thank you. I shall add it to the broth at once. By your leave, Tributary.
If there is anything else that we can do to help, you need only ask.
No, no. You've already done more for my family than I can ever repay.
Just as you have, Clive, for my family. I only regret that I have nothing to offer you in return but my gratitude.
It's more than enough. Besides, I'm no less grateful to you.
For what?
For welcoming my friends and I into your midst. For showing us how your people live. For reminding me that the world we strive to create, where bearers can live alongside their fellow men in peace and comfort, is no mere fantasy.
I'd hardly call it comfort. Every day is a struggle. Though we do at least struggle together, it's true.
As must we all. I only ask that you remember the cost of using your gifts as a bearer. I know that you feel it's your duty to do whatever you can to help your people. But you have a child to think about now. And Wallis has lost enough.
I shall bear that in mind.
That's all I ask. Oh, and if there is anything else that we can do to help, well, you know.
Thank you. Truly.
It is good to have him back. But how do I know the lad?
No, it has to be him.
What has to be who? If you, don't mind my asking.
It's not your asking I mind. It's my explaining. But I don't see any other way around it. You see, when a baby is born here, we hold a ceremony to welcome them. The rite of immersion, we call it. But I don't know whether Wallius was ever afforded that courtesy. What is abundant? The problem is, The ceremony as tributary, the role of witness would normally...
So you want me to serve as witness in your stead?
That's right. A witness must be a trusty guardian. Ready?
It would be my honor.
Thank you.
So,
I have a young... He should be making ready for the rite as we speak.
please do.
I'll bid him come.
Gladly.
Clive, my brother.
If it isn't my old mate Sid!
You?
So you do remember me, even stripped of my cunning disguise? I'm touched.
You two know each other.
My friends and I crossed paths with your brother on our hunt for the dusk crystals, during which we saved his life. 3 times, was it?
3, 4, who's counting? All I know is when Shula mentioned she'd called in Sid the Outlaw to help young Walyas, I could be sure that the little rascal was in safe hands. I mean, having seen you in action back at the tower, I know exactly what you're capable of.
So the mercenary you met in the Sage Spire, that was Clive. And he saved your life. That's a rather different story from the one you told me. And a far likelier one at that. It would appear my family owe you twice over. Whether they admit it or not. Honestly, Fammy, would it kill you to tell the truth once in a while?
What? I said sorry, didn't I? How about we save the, recriminations until after the ceremony, eh?
Speaking of which, what does this ceremony involve exactly?
It's simple, really. We each say a short prayer and anoint the child's head with holy water.
Nothing too onerous, then.
Not about the rite itself, no. But it does call for some preparation. One of the witness's responsibilities is to collect the holy water, you see. 3 phials for the 3 ministrators, each taken from a particular place. Don't worry, though. It's not as if you have to go alone. I can show you the way.
I'd appreciate that.
Famiel, you stay here and ready the Witten Hall.
Leave it to me.
If there's anything Jill and I can do to assist you...
We'd be glad to help.
Thank you both. All right then, let's get started, shall we? There are 3 types of holy water that we must collect. The water of the mountain, of the river, and of the sea. We take the water of the mountain from the spring atop Maiden's March. The water of the river from the course that flows through the ruins of Riversmeet. And the water of the sea from the shallows of Tailwind Bay. Here are the phials we'll be using in the ceremony. I'm ready to leave whenever you are.
back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help. Keep its attention on us.
I'll do more than that.
Come on. I needed that. Nice try. That's better. Is anyone hurt?
Oh, Sid! Thank all the clouds in the heavens you came. You saved us. Again!
Would you two care to explain what you're doing up here?
The chief sent us to fetch incense for the ceremony. So the Witten Hall smells nice. For the little Ben.
You mean to tell me you braved this den of deadly beasts for some tree sap?
You don't have to do everything he says, you know.
Or if you must, at least have the good sense to ask one of our hunters to accompany you.
We're sorry.
It's fine. Just go back to the village before you get yourselves into any more trouble.
Right you are. Oh, and thanks and that.
Remind me to give my brother a cuff round the ear when we get back. Right then. Let's collect this water, shall we? The rain that falls on the mountain emerges here, in these springs.
The source of the river. The source of life.
Precisely. Take care not to spill it.